All right, ladies and gentlemen, so everyone should have their focus and their study guide out on their desk. We are going to start notes here very quickly because motivation and emotion, both 1 and 2 is hard. 1 is okay, 2 is really, really hard because it's 8 major theories. We're even going to make a little cartoon to help us learn these theories next week. So it's a pretty tricky week, but I just counted, and you know if I'm counting, oh no. After this week, you only have 4 more weeks of content.
Wow.
Yeah, you only have 4 more weeks of content. So that's pretty exciting. So with that being said, let's talk about review. So, ladies and gentlemen, every single one of you needs to purchase a Barron's book. I bought this yesterday and got it in one day. I don't care. Now, it does matter. I've never really cared because this is the 9th edition. 2 through 8 have always been perfectly fine. But the problem is this year, they redid their exam. So, you need the new one. It is, I think I paid $12.99 for it. $11.99, $12.99. I no way paid more than $15.99. Now, ladies and gentlemen, every single one of you needs to have it because during review, this is your homework. There's no focus, there's no study guide, there's no outlines. Your Barron's book is your homework. It's worth 150 points every single week. It is due every Friday. You will turn it in and you will get it back that Friday before you leave class. You will never go a whole day without it. Like, you will pick it up, drop it off, pick it up in the same class. You will see how it goes because I'm with you for a lot of your review, honestly. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you need to purchase this book. If you cannot afford the book, you need to speak to me within the next week, and I will purchase it for you on your behalf. Speak to me privately. This will be a deal between me and you. No one will ever know. It's no one's business. You speak to me, we'll get you the book. No one needs to know. Is everyone clear on that? If you cannot afford the book, you speak to me privately. I will get you a book. This will all be dealt with privately. It's no one's business but ours. Yes? So, everyone needs this book. You need to have it by week 28. That's in 4 weeks. Okay? You can buy it on Amazon. You can also go to Barnes & Noble. But if you buy it at Barnes & Noble, you're paying like $25. Do you know what's not worth $25? This Barron's book.
It's $13.89 on Amazon.
$13.89. I think I paid $12.99. If you play with it a little bit, you can figure it out. You can get it maybe a little bit cheaper. It just came out because it's the newest version. Okay, so it needs to be the 9th version because they redid the test this year. Does that make sense? So there's some information that's been cut. Very few pieces of information have been added. Now, I would really like you to get the 9th edition. If you cannot get the 9th edition, the 8th edition is not the worst because there's not that many changes. Now, in AP World, it's a whole new class. They have no other option because it's a whole new test. So, you guys, you have a little bit of wiggle room. Now, this comes with 3 practice tests. So, one of the things that I've had to deal with in the last couple of weeks is that I won't be able to do mock exams with you. I see you, Camden Collins. No. No.
He copies every other teacher, of course.
Ren does them because I do. Thorsten does them because I did them. But no, I don't really. I'm trying to figure it out because AP World definitely needs to do them, but I can't.
Can we just do one out of the book?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm
That's what she's
mentioning the
My
3
bad.
practice tests. But yeah, I can't sit there and score them like I have historically. I'll be like a week away from like delivery. It takes hours and hours and hours. AP Psych takes me probably about 6 hours to grade. AP World takes me about 18 hours to grade. And I do it twice. Well, I used to do it twice, but this year it's just not happening. And my husband has had to talk me off the ledge like 12 times. I can totally do it. I'm just sitting down the whole time. Are you kidding me? Anyway, moving forward. Because of that, I really do think the 3 extra practice tests will be a good practice for you and something we'll be addressing and exactly what you should be doing. Keep in mind, I'm with you for a majority of your review. So, and everything else, you will be very well versed on exactly how this is going to go. I've already made your tests breaking up this book, and we'll explain everything, but you need to have this book. This book is everything. All of your assignments, because ladies and gentlemen, in 4 weeks, you finish your textbook. You've outlined every page of your textbook in 4 weeks. You're done. So with that being said, this is the new transition, and this is what everyone needs to have. It will help, as you can hear from the rave reviews I've had in the back of the room from Barron's Books. It's really not that bad because you guys have practice tests inside the tests, which is great. You really have a lot of wasted space. AP World has no wasted space. So if you're having like PTSD flashbacks to AP World, don't. I don't want to hear it. So, everyone clear on what the expectation is for the Barron's book? You definitely need to have it because I won't be here every single day with your review. This is your content source. It's fantastic. Now, if I wasn't going to be here, guess what we'd still be doing anyway? Barron's book, because you didn't take an AP course with Bennett unless you did a... There you go. So, this is absolutely necessary. Buy it on Amazon. You can get it tomorrow. Mine got delivered in a day. Amazon. Oh, my God. You can sit there and talk sweet things to each other. All right. So, question.
Oh, yes.
What?
Is there like a certain way we answer it, or do you tell us that later?
Girl, I will make sure
There's a very certain
it is
way.
explicitly clear of exactly what you need.
Okay.
But there's no reason to get there yet because we're not there yet.
You don't want to rush it.
Camden Collins, positivity used to be your thing. I remember who you were when you were a sophomore.
I think maybe out of my entire high school experience, that was still like one of the worst things ever.
Well, good. I'm glad I broke you then. Here we go. Take out your focus and your study guide. What do you want me to say to that?
I mean, it clearly worked, so I'll give it that one.
Thank you very much. Now, do you know how to study for every AP exam for the rest of your life? Yes. Do you? No. Oh, God. Motivation is where we are. So let's begin. All right. Motivation is the process by which activities are started, directed, and continued so that physical, psychological needs or wants are met. Okay. Motivation. We all struggle with it. Can we agree? This morning, I finally got to sleep last night for the first time in like 5 nights, and I died when my alarm went off at 4:51. It took because I can get 1 more minute of sleep without being off schedule. If it was 4:50, it's too early. None of my what?
What would you do with an
Extra minute would be less time sleeping, and that's sad. So, motivation. Some of us require more motivation than others to do certain things. Okay? Extrinsic motivation is a type of motivation which a person performs an action because it leads to an outcome that is separate or external to the person. Extrinsic motivation is outside motivation. For instance, I do love you guys, and I know that you work very hard for me, but I also come to work for the paycheck. Now, is your girl balling on the paycheck? No. However, I do have the extrinsic motivation of a paycheck. You are all motivated by something outside of your own personal success. Like, for instance, my husband is really contemplating buying me a Louis Vuitton bag because he wants to name our kid Hank.
He's trying to buy the big bag.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if he buys the bag, he can have Hank. What?
I have an idea for him.
No.
I work in a shop that sells like discount bags.
Hi, sweetie, I'm not a discount girl, okay?
Yeah, no, if he's getting Hank, she needs the bag.
If I'm gonna have to deal with the name Hank for the rest of my life, your girl's getting Louis Vuitton. Do you hear?
No, it's Louis Vuitton. It's just like
No. I'm going to the store. I'm getting the fancy bag. I'm having the whole experience. I am living my best wealthy lifestyle.
The bag lasts you like 2 years, the kid lasts you.
I don't care. I will look at it. I will buy. I already know it's $2,500 the bag I want. Yeah, man.
Henry's cute.
Henry's cute. Hank is terrible.
Why don't you do Henry? But you can see
his
middle name Hank.
Oh, of course. I'm not putting on. Hello. I am not a tacky person. I am not putting on the birth certificate Hank. On the birth certificate, it will say Henry, but guess what he will be called? Hank. So my husband has the extrinsic motivation. If he wants a kid so he can call him Hank, he has to buy me a purse. And it's a $1,200 purse. And it will be beautiful. And it will sit in its little suede bag. And then when I take it out and I wear it, I'll be like, this is why I have a Hank. This is why I have a Hank when I need the memory erased of what a terrible name my child has. Extrinsic. Sometimes you have intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is when it's on your thing. It's
I wrote it in the
then
box.
switch the boxes. Intrinsic motivation is when you're motivated by something internal. We can handle this, people. We've prepared. Intrinsic motivation is when we are motivated by something eternally. Like, for instance, I am a very driven person because I don't like being dependent on anyone. I am a very independent person. So because of that, I've always worked multiple jobs. I've always taken care of myself. I've purchased every car I've ever driven, except for the Mini. McCray does pay for that one. That was my 30th birthday present, and it's so cute. I can't afford that. Are you kidding me? I had a Jeep Patriot before. Jeep Patriot is like $18,000. Mini Cooper? Not. Anyway, moving forward. Intrinsic motivation is because I don't like being dependent on other people, because I don't feel like other people are trustworthy. So because of that, I take care of myself. And that is a goal I have every single day. That's why your girl's still working 2 jobs. Me and this belly still go behind a bar and pour some drinks and make more money this way. It's kind of sad. But kind of sad.
People tip you better?
I think so, because I think they feel bad for me.
They don't know that you have another job.
Yeah, and they don't know that the people at my second job literally do everything for me. And, like, I'm not allowed to touch anything except, like, pour cocktails. And that's it. And it's so sweet. They're so cute about it. Anyway, intrinsic motivation, that is one of my guiding principles. Every single one of you has something that means more than anything to you. Can we agree? That you focus and work towards? Yes? Okay, maybe getting into a prestigious school means a lot to you. Maybe starting your own family means the most to you, and that's your goal for everything, all of that. All right, instincts. Here we go. Instincts are biologically determined and innate patterns of behavior that exist in both animals and people. So, it's on your focus. Okay? Then we also have instinct approach, which is an approach to motivation that assumes people are governed by their instincts similar to those of animals. Is this a positive view on humans or negative view? Negative. I would make a note of that.
Yes.
I don't care.
It's so messed up.
Because you couldn't read?
Yes.
So, instincts. Every single person in this room has instincts about certain things. Okay? We've all had instincts of like, oh God, this isn't a good situation. Have you ever been in one of those? Where you're like, oh no, this isn't good. And something bad's about to happen? Yes? And then you were right and you were like, oh my God, I'm a god. I knew this was going to happen. Okay? And then you've also had instincts about people. When you met them and you were like, this person seems shady as shit. And all of your friends are like, no, they're so nice. And you're like, nope, shady. And then a couple weeks later, you're like, and who was right? And all your friends hate you now because you're just so proud of yourself. Okay? Those are all instincts. Okay? So when we talk about instinct approach, it assumes that people are governed by instincts similar to those of animals. And it's a negative view on humans. You should note that. It's a negative view on humans. Okay? So, essentially, we just live by the moment. Instinct approach says we live moment to moment. Would you agree on that? No. You're not taking AP classes because you're like, damn, I'm just so excited about content. You're doing it to make it look good on your college applications. Can we agree?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Is that a long-term goal or a short-term goal? Short-term. However, do you make stupid decisions that have consequences on your everyday? Yes, absolutely. When you could go home and sit down and do your homework right away, but you decide to sit on your phone on the couch and for like 2 hours after school so you can relax, and then you're like, then you're up till like 2 o'clock in the morning doing all your damn homework. That is an instinct. That is like, I'm going to treat myself now and shoot myself in the face later. Okay? So, drive reduction, theory of motivation. Now, a need is a requirement. It's a drive, boss. We're in a need. Read the boxes, people. That's fine. We already know what needs are. Food, sex, water. Haven't we talked about this 10,000 times? Yes. Number 6 on the focus.
What are the types of needs?
On the front, drive reduction approach. Oh yeah, but
Okay. On your study guide, they do have drive. So that's fine. We can why are we having a meltdown? We've been doing the same shit. Yes, there's a lot of content this week, my love.
Drive is like possible.
You people, why are we so fussy today? It's because Camden started us with a meltdown. Is that why? Oh my gosh.
I feel like every Thursday is just miserable.
Well, tomorrow is Friday, and it will be the worst day of the year, so don't you worry. That sounds perfect. Okay, so a drive is a psychological tension and physical arousal arising when there is a need that motivates the organism to act in order to fulfill. A drive is like those hunger pains you get. You know, like you're sitting on your couch and you're like, man, I'm kind of hungry. And then all of a sudden it like cranks up the hunger and you're like, damn it. And you got to get off the couch. Yes? That is a drive. So when you acknowledge things like, man, I'm kind of thirsty. And then all of a sudden, like your mouth is like totally dry and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And then you get off the couch and go get water. That's a drive. A drive is what changes behavior. And I would write that in your application box. It changes behavior. A drive is what changes behavior. Okay? If you're hungry enough, you'll go find food. Can we agree? You'll get desperate enough to get off your couch. If you don't have any food in the house, will you leave your house to go get food? That's a drive. Absolutely. I think we'd all be a little bit better off if you didn't do that, Camden.
That was funny. I could light a mood. Okay, it's a little tense.
For what? Your anxiety? Alright, drive reduction theory is an approach to motivation that assumes behavior arises from psychological needs that cause internal drives to push organisms to satisfy the need and reduce tension and arousal. Essentially what that means is that everything we do is based on reducing our stress. So, the reason why you work hard in AP Psych is so you don't get a bad grade so your parents don't make your life hell. Yes?
Yes.
Or, Emerson, I don't believe that for 2 seconds. Your parents babysit your grades? Bullshit.
They assume it. They assume I'm getting straight A's all the time, and then when I don't,
Because they
they're like,
know
"Oh,
you.
What are you doing?" But then she'll say she's not checking out my grades, but I know she secretly is. But she says she doesn't track me, and then she'll call me and ask me why I'm somewhere when I told her 2 weeks ago what I was doing.
Wait, if you had Emerson as a kid, would you watch her? I wouldn't. I'd be like, Emerson, like, go to the door.
I see the grades that she has.
Okay.
3. Huh?
Don't do life
My parents text me when my phone
Sorry,
dies.
I know life is
They're like, your phone's gonna die, charge it now.
Is that the app that follows you people?
Not only that, it's like tells you your percentage, how fast you're going.
When you use your phone in the car, even though you're not driving.
I like when parents are like, you can believe I wasn't doing that when I was a kid. You can believe you weren't being tracked on a GPS when you were a kid. Like, you can believe that you couldn't get in touch with your mom in 2 seconds.
Hank's gonna have bigger problems.
Like,
I don't know. That's not your. Huh? It's gonna be like he's gonna be like microchipped or some shit. We're moving on, people. We got things to do. So drive reduction theory is what makes us do things. Drive reduction theory is that we do things in order to eradicate stress. So the reason why you work as hard in school is so A, your parents will leave you alone. That was a huge motivation for me. Because I just didn't want to have a conversation with my mother. So if I did not do well, my mother would be all over my case. But if I did well, I could just be kind of a snotty brat and walk away. And she didn't really say much. Kind of a snotty brat, not like a real snotty brat, because she would have beat the shit out of me. And she's still scary. All right. So, what are drives? So, primary drives are food, sex, hunger. Primary drives are food, sex, hunger. I've already taught you this, so this should be very easy. Okay? Food, sex, water. Then we have secondary drives or acquired drives, which are money, social approval. Like your generation is all about this social approval. How many likes can you get on your gram pics? Why? Oh, don't they count them?
Nobody can see.
I kind of like it though.
Why?
They did it for that exact reason.
It's just gonna become comments.
It is basic.
Who makes comments?
Your friends, now that likes on their thing, it's definitely.
Oh my gosh, love this.
You are
It's like the same comment like in a row, but just like a different adjective.
This is shitty.
Oh my god. I haven't posted a single photo on my social media since Hawaii. Yesterday someone called me and was like, "Oh my god, I heard the craziest rumor." I was like, "What's that?" She's like, "I heard you're pregnant." I was like, "Yeah, girl, I'm almost 8 months pregnant." And she's like, "How did you not tell anyone?" I was like, "Oh well, if I haven't seen you, I haven't seen you." I don't post.
You probably felt so out of the loop, like you're not real friends that you didn't tell them.
Well, I don't really talk to her.
So she's very nice question. You posted about it at all?
No, I haven't posted. She heard from someone else that I was pregnant. She's like, "There's no way." And I was like, no, I've got a beach ball in the front, girl. This is happening.
You gonna post a picture of your child?
I don't think so.
I feel like
Come on.
never. I feel like you should.
Come on.
So then, like, no one's ever gonna. And your child, why?
I don't think it's appropriate to post too many photos of your kids. I just don't think it's right.
I agree.
You could be like,
Not when
oh,
they're
it's
in
baby.
Once you do like the little.
No, my sophomores are like so like hardcore. They're like, we need to see a picture of the kid when he comes. So I'll post one photo to Miss Bennett Plan for the kids. So I will post one, but like I don't know if I could go like a year without posting a single photo of maybe Hank if I get the bag I want. Then I think that'd be pretty cool.
You're still gonna take pictures.
Then you're not one of
Yeah,
those
of course I'm gonna take photos, but like people used to just have photos and put them on the wall,
Yeah.
like a real wall, like a physical wall. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you right now that McCray has an acquired drive of money. He grew up very, very poor. Have I told you that? That his mom used to put all of his school clothes on Kmart layaway. They used to pick him out at the beginning of the summer, and she'd make payments all summer, and hopefully that she saved enough money so she could buy clothes for McCray. He never went to the mall until he was a sophomore in high school to buy clothes. His mom used to make some of his clothes. Like, he was poor growing up. I will tell you right now, one of McCray's largest motivators is money. That's his thing. He needs to have a nice car. He needs to have a nice house. He needs to have nice clothes. He needs to have a large sneaker collection, which is his new thing. He is...
What kind of shoes?
It's all Nike running shoes.
Just running shoes?
Yes, it's not like
I don't think
Jordans
it's-
or anything.
Yeah.
He's like the whitest kid you've ever seen now. Huh?
Dad.
So, with that being said, money is a huge motivator to my husband. And it's way more of a motivator than it is for me. Obviously, I'm a high school teacher, for God's sake. With that being said, because of the stress of him growing up and not having things in comparison to all the people around him, that became something that really matters to him. So in order for him to feel successful and comfortable with his life, he needs to have nice things around him, which is why you look at my closet and it's Amazon and Target. You look at his closet and it's Brooks Brothers and Nordstrom. But your girls get in a bag, is what I'm saying. Anyway. So there are 3 types of needs when we're talking about 3 types of needs that each of us need to achieve. Now, everyone is going to see these 3 things differently. The first one is called need of achievement. It's a need that involves a strong desire to succeed in attaining goals, not only realistic ones, but also challenging ones. Every single person in this room has an achievement goal for themselves. Whether it's to, graduate from a super high esteemed college, or simply to just graduate from college. That's still a need of achievement. Every single person in this room also has a need for affiliation, which is the need for friendly social interactions and relationships with others. And then every single person in this room has a need for power, which is the need to have control over influence over others. Now, this is where things get different. Every single person in this room has to satisfy these 3 needs. Everyone needs to feel like they've accomplished something. Everyone needs to feel like they are loved and cared for. And every single person needs power. However, every single one of you would say, which one is more important to you? Which one is more important to you? Mine is achievement. Mine's achievement. I want to, at the end of the day, like I'm a high school history teacher. So on Saturday, I had my in-laws over for dinner, and somehow it came up, my salary, which I made $53,000 last year. You can look it up. I'm a public employee. You can find out. I made $53,000 last year. My mother-in-law choked, and she said, "Oh no," out loud.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, Goose, I'm a public school teacher, of course, and she's like, I just thought you made more than that. She's like, you work at plant, you get all the bonuses. I thought you made more than that. I was like, that is more. And she's like, you do all of this with 53? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh shit. I was like, yeah. 53 is not that much. 53 really is not that much, especially when you have 3 degrees. But here we are. With that being said, my need of achievement. So even though I make less money than a lot of my peers do, by the way, because how I get paid is based on how many years in. So how many years? So if you have a teacher that's been here, not in here, but teaching longer, they're making more money than I do. So with that being said, all of those teachers, some of them are really good teachers and some of them are really crappy teachers, they make more money than I do because of their time in. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, do I work as hard as I do because of my salary? No, I work as hard as I do because I like having my kids score the highest. I want you to be able to go on, move forward, and get your college credit and stuff like that. Does that make sense? Like, I take great pride in how much I can move you throughout the course of the year. That's my need of achievement. My husband is a need for power, and he sees money as power. He likes making money, and he needs that because he didn't have that as a kid. So, what I would like you to do is I'd like you to turn to your neighbor and tell them which one you are and why. My sister is a need for affiliation. My sister just wants friends. Even now at 30, she just wants to be liked. She bakes cookies every single Sunday night to bring to work so she can make friends with the people in her office. Like, she bakes like cookies and cakes. She doesn't eat them because that's a whole other story, but she just wants to be liked. So turn to your neighbor. Which one means the most to you? And there's no judgment. All of us have all 3. Go. Talk to Madison Collins. Why? Tell them why. Why and how?
I don't think I have a strong
Hayden, what are you? Achievement? You gotta be. National merit and all that crap. It's gotta be that. Where are you going next year, you know? You don't know yet? Alright. It's gotta be need of achievement, man. The way you work, it's need of achievement. 3, 2, 1. So every single one of us, if you had to rank them, okay, who says achievement is their number 1? Yes, Emerson, we know. We didn't even need to look, Emerson. Who does a need for affiliation? By the way, the people who have a need for affiliation are the happiest people. Need for achievement. These are people who are planners and long-term success matters to them. Okay? But your happy day-to-day people are need for affiliation because they get that genuine reinforcement every single day by having those connections and fostering. So they are like the happy people. So who are my happier people? Need for affiliation? That's great. And then you have who are my power people? Hell yeah. There's one in the room. You're liars. Okay? You are liars. Power comes in many different things. My brother is a power person. He's a police officer. Of course he's a power person. Okay? And that's his thing. He likes telling, oh, it's not a big deal, but I'm a cop. Cool. Who cares? Not a big deal. I'm a teacher. No one gives a shit either way. No, people do. People do. They don't. Yes. Mark needs to be knocked down like 50 pegs. It's my personal responsibility as his younger sister to do the job.
He's the one dating the guy.
Yes. Oh, it's going great. They're going to Argentina in June. Don't even get me started. Thank you for bringing that shit up. I hate you so much. What? I don't know. No one's asked the question. We're just avoiding it.
Like they haven't popped the question to each other, or like.
No, like the family has not directly asked if he's engaged or not. I don't know. He's a moron. All right, stimulus motive. Okay, stimulus motive is a motive that appears to be unlearned but causes an increase in stimulation, such as curiosity. So stimulus motive is when every single one of us has gone through a spiral online, right? Like you saw something online and you're like, what? And then 3 hours later, on your 50th website, you're in this weird place and you're like, how did I get here? Yes? Yeah. It's happened with me with makeup tutorials, which clearly hasn't learned anything. But I like did a vortex into like some deep layers of some makeup tutorials. And like, there's some weird shit out on the internet. Like YouTube, the suggestions, have you ever just watched something you always watch and then just click on a suggestion every single time?
Yes. Yesterday.
That is how you get to the craziest things online.
There's like waking rabbits running by blueberries.
Oh,
You saw it? Yes. And then you started taking them. It was really cute, actually. I watched it.
Okay. Alright, so arousal theory is a theory of motivation in which people are said to have the optimal, ideal, or best level of tension that they seek to maintain by increasing or decreasing stimulation. I'll tell you right now, I think this is absolutely accurate. I have to have a lot going on in my life if I'm going to get things done. If I don't have enough going on, I'm going to do nothing. And if I have too much going on, I just sit there and cry in the shower. And nothing gets done. So there is an optimal amount of stress that I have to have, and then I am precision focused. And I can get my shit done so damn fast. So, arousal theory is the belief that there's a certain amount of stress that allows you to be ideal in managing it. Do we agree?
Yes.
There you go. Hopefully you kind of live in that balance. Sometimes you fall out of it, but most of the time you're in it, or no?
No.
Oh, God. Huh? Well, sometimes, like, if you don't have enough stress in your life, you do nothing, correct? And then if you have too much stress in your life, you just sit in the corner of your room with a blanket on you and just cry, right? Because it's just too hard and there's too much going on. But if you have like a bunch of things going on and different avenues, then you can kind of like, I'm going to do this, then I'll do this, then I'll do this, and then all of a sudden you're like the most productive human on the face of the planet.
Yeah,
That is arousal theory.
I have like 2 or 3 tests in one day, like I actually study for them. But if I only have one, I'm like, oh, I have all day, and then I end up not studying.
There you go. That's arousal theory. All right. Then we have Yerkes Dodson law. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, it's a law. What does that mean if it's a law? It is proven, scientifically proven, and we only have 5 of these all year. Oh my God, is this a big deal? Yes, how exciting. It states that a performance is related to arousal. Moderate levels of arousal lead to better performances than a level of arousal that are too high or too low. So, if you're invested in it but you're not overwhelmed, you're going to do better. Which makes sense, don't you think? Okay, which is why, another reason why I do a test every single week in this class. Are you stressed out by my tests? No. However, if I only tested you every 3 weeks, how well would you do on those tests? Terrible. So, by testing you every single week, I've reduced the anxiety because every single person in this room has done terrible in one of my tests. Can we agree? And your grade was fine. So, with that being said, Yerkes Dodson is part of the reason why I do what I do. And it is because of the constant preparation for my class, which hopefully you've realized by now after 24 weeks of the same damn shit. You shouldn't be stressed out by it, but you're still getting things done. Would we agree?
Yes.
Absolutely. That's Yerkes Dodson. That's why I do it. Genius, right? Now, the other component of Yerkes Dodson is an easy task takes a lot. Write this down. You need to know this is what's on your test. An easy task takes a lot of motivation. Okay, an easy task takes a lot of motivation to do it. Like for instance, you're sitting on your couch. You're watching To All the Boys I Loved Before, Part 2. Has anyone seen it yet?
I do.
Is
I
it
read
good?
that book in like 5th grade, and then they made movies out of it. And I
Is
was
it
like,
good?
There were some good parts and some parts that were like cringe. As Sunny, like, you know, that kind of movie.
Yeah.
But like overall, that was good.
It was entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for entertaining.
Do you know when the second Kissing Booth comes out?
Ew, I didn't like the kissing booth.
I don't know.
I liked that one.
Ew, I didn't like it.
I like the.
I didn't like the kissing booth one. I thought it was a little creepy and a little predator-ish. Just being honest. Have you seen it, Maggie? It's a little predatory, right? Yeah, a little predatory. Anyway, moving forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're lying on your couch and you're just doing your Netflix thing, just chilling, just scrolling through whatever you're watching, and your mom says, "Hey, put the plates away from the table in front of you," and you're like, "Oh no, this could kill me. I'm supposed to get up from this comfy place, take the blanket off of me, adjust the pillows so I can move, and then put the plates in the sink?" How long does it take you to get off the couch to do that? Too long, right? And your mom's hollering, "Have you moved the plates yet?" And you're like, "Yes, Mom." And then she comes in there and the plates are sitting right there. No, is that just me and my husband? I'm just kidding. My husband's dirty. I'm not the dirty one. Actually, it's not really that dirty either. But difficult tasks require low to moderate levels. So, difficult tasks require low levels of stress. So, if I asked you to do an impossible task and I'm like, do it, is that going to make it easier or harder?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're harder. It's out by 3 minutes.
No, it's been long.
Who cares?
It's always been off by like 1 minute.
We're chained by the bell anyway, people. Not by the clock. Goodbye.
Yes.